How to become healthy? That's the question we all have, and everyone on here wants to know the answer. Well, the truth is optimizing your health can be broken down into 6 keys that I want to share with you today. And you too, if you follow these 6 keys, can become healthier as well. I started out with 5 keys to physical health and improving your health, but it morphed into 6, and I want to cover those right now. The first one is pretty simple: gain muscle mass. Now, I don't care if you're female, male, it doesn't matter. It's interesting to me that there's one factor in longevity and survival rates in cancer patients. You want to know what it is? You guessed it, muscle mass. The more muscle mass you have, the more likely you are to fight off illness, sickness, and disease. Muscle mass and muscle density is a surewire way to ensure your health. What are the ways to do that? Well, it's really 2 factors. It's exercise and diet. You have to do resistance training to build up the muscle mass, and you also got to take in the caloric value and the protein to build the muscle mass. I'm going to go a little bit more into those as well. Number 2 key to physical fitness: hire a professional, a doctor, or in particular, your first hire should be a personal trainer. Now, I don't care if you've been training like me for your whole life, since you've been like 13 years old. I've been training for 37 years, but I don't care if you've been training for 37 years and you think you know everything about the gym, or if you're a professional bodybuilder, or if you've just started. Think about Tiger Woods. He's arguably the best golfer that's ever existed in all of history, and he has, guess what? He's got a coach, and so should you. The best place you can invest money in your physical fitness, if you're starting to invest in it or if you haven't yet, is in a personal trainer. Now, I'm not a personal trainer and I'm not advocating personal trainers. I'm saying your best place to invest money is in an expert who is a coach, who can watch your form, your technique, and coach you through a system, create a system, and walk you through it and make sure that you're doing it properly, and you will get more out of that than spending years and years and decades in the gym. I know guys have been working out their whole life, they get a personal trainer, like, what have I been doing? I've been doing it wrong this whole time. It's like golf, right? You go out to swing, you get a swing coach, you get a golf coach, next thing you know, your game improves. The same happens with physical fitness. The second most important hire in that space, which I personally do, is have my own personal doctor. Now, that might be a little bit out of the league for people, but somewhere between $200 and $500 a month, you can hire a doctor who goes through your blood work on a quarterly basis, and you have a monthly meeting. And if you ever need anything, if you're not feeling well, you got the sniffles, you have someone on call. It's your own personal doctor who has. It's like the old days when you had the old neighborhood doctor, or you went down to the local doctor, or they came out to your farm. That person has a relationship with you. They understand your body's limitations. They have your blood work, and they can develop programs, including supplementation, diet, exercise, based on your blood work and your results. So hire a personal trainer and look for a doctor. Those 2 key elements is the key way to building your health. The third key to living a healthy life or becoming healthier simply has to go with goes in our mouth. Eating healthy I'm going to simplify eating healthy for you like this. Eat the healthiest option that's available to you at the time of consumption. So I used to live down in North Carolina, and you'd go to these church outings and like picnics, and it'd be fried chicken and collard greens and buttery this and salty that and fatty that. And sometimes you wouldn't have a healthy option. And if you're really hungry, you're starving, you might start to slip on your intake and eat some garbage. So eat the healthiest food that's available. And honestly, sometimes the healthiest option that's available is to not eat, right? I'm going to say that again. Eat the healthiest thing that's available to you. So obviously, if you go out someplace and they've got a salad with some grilled chicken, you're going to want to eat that. But if there is no healthy option, the healthiest choice may be to abstain from eating for that meal and wait till you get someplace where you can eat something healthy. You go out with your friends and everybody's like, hey, we're having pizza and beer. Yeah, maybe they have chicken, maybe they have wings. Try to get the healthiest option. And again, remember, oftentimes, and some of the times, if you're out of your environment, the healthiest option may be to literally not eat at all. Number 4 in this category of being healthy is a lot like number 3, that speaking of not eating, right? Sometimes you go someplace and the only option you have is to not eat at all. A surefire way to become healthy physically is fasting. Now, there are a lot of studies on fasting, and I've been doing this for decades, but periodic daily fasting is something that you all do whether you know it or not. When you fall asleep, at night, and if you get 8 hours of sleep and you didn't eat your meal maybe 2 hours before your bedtime and you wake up, it takes an hour to get ready. Now you're 10, 11 hours in between your last meal. That's why they call that first meal of the day what? Break what? That's right, break fast, right? You eat a breakfast. So fasting is a great way to help give your digestive system a rest and to purge your body of toxins. And when you're fasting, you go into a process where your body is going to still eat. It just happens to eat a couple things, unhealthy cells and fat cells. So that's a good reason for fasting. One of the greatest keys to being healthy in general is to understand that there really is no separation between mental, physical, and spiritual health. And I am going to talk about how to be mentally healthy as well. And it goes directly along with being physically fit. And you'll see how those things connect. But when you're fasting, if you're fasting, and when you fast, you should be in a state of prayer as well. So it's not just not eating. So let's say you don't eat for a day straight. So you'd normally have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's 3 hours of eating plus a couple hours of preparation. That's 3 to 5 hours that you now have freed up. So just fasting alone is great, but just fasting and praying multiplies that effect. And I'm not sure what your walk is like and what your prayer life would be like, but think about fasting, prayer, and meditation. So if you free up 5 hours of your day, don't just do nothing. Fill it with something healthy for yourself, which is to pray and meditate. Number five in being healthy, this one might shock you, but it's breathing. Now, before you say anything, you're all sitting there going, well, I breathe every day. Well, there's breathing, and then there's proper breathing, right? Just like there's working out, which some people just moving weights around, and then there's the proper way to do it, or efficient and effective way to do it. There are ways to breathe properly. Now, when I first moved to Indianapolis from North Carolina in 2017, I was in such dismantle in my body and my mind, and my spirit was just crushed and crumbled. I couldn't even breathe properly. I started to research who are the experts at breathing, right? So you'll notice something about me. I always try to find who's the best at any given thing, and I find them, whether I can talk to them personally or professionally or reach out to them. I ended up finding this guy. You may have heard of Wim Hof, right? The Iceman. He holds about, I think, 20 some or 30 some world records. Most of them have to do with breathing, holding his breath, swimming underwater. They call him the Iceman because he has a technique of breathing and then submerging in cold water. So a lot of you might be doing cold plunges right now. He's kind of the innovator of cold plunging and improving your immune system. I don't really recommend books a lot of times, but I can't help but recommend Wim Hof. It was co-authored by Kong Di Zhang. You can go on Amazon, you can go anywhere and get this book called The Way of the Iceman, How Wim Hof Method Creates Radiant Long-Term Health. And it's just breathing. Now, embrace yourself, because as soon as you start doing that, it's like getting those golf lessons. You'll realize you've never really golfed in your life. It'll be like, it'll feel like it's the first time you've ever breathed correctly. Is that how you say it? The first time you've ever taken in air correctly in your life, and your life is going to radically change. Your energy is going to increase. Your clarity is going to increase. You're going to get sick less often, and you're going to become a healthier person by learning how to breathe correctly. So just a simple recap of five. It was going to be five, now it's six things. Number one, gain muscle mass. We talked about muscle mass being super important to you. Number two, hire an expert. There's no doubt that having an expert is going to help you big time. Hire them, like Tiger Woods, right? Eat the healthiest option that's available. That's the third. And sometimes the healthiest option that's available to you is to abstain from eating in general, which is the fourth. Fasting, and I talked about fasting and prayer coupled together, right? Those two things are vital. And then the most simple thing we think we all do, the fifth thing, breathing, learning how to breathe. And the sixth and final thing is supplementing down, but supplementing for deficiencies. So get your blood work, test for where you're deficient, and supplement for those deficiencies. And like this, I do this every time. Don't believe a word I just gave you, right? Don't believe anything I just said, but rather test it for yourself and see if it doesn't work for you.